What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. It's the greatest show in all lands. I usually say two of the sharpest minds in the biz joining me. We got three because our guy Tim, Tasteful Tides, is producing the show behind the scenes right now. He just pieced out, but good to see him working hard, learning things. We also have producer Steve, kind of as backup. Producer Steve, maybe the happiest dude in the universe right now. Producer Steve, of course, a big Knicks fan. And I don't know if you caught the game, but holy bleep. That was an absolutely incredible game. Welcome to it. You know the drill. It's Crunch Time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got my guy TJ in the house. What up, TJ?
Not too much. Ready to dive into the slate. Had a nice nap this afternoon, and so I'm feeling refreshed and ready to rock. I had my baby until about 1 o'clock today on dad duty, and then my mom came in and gave me a little reprieve, and that's where she is with right now. So got myself a nice little nap and feel ready to rock for the evening.
Very good. I steered the wife into Andor, and we just started watching Andor last night. I watched season 1. I'm excited about season 2. She's just jumping into season 2. You think that's okay? No backstory.
Well, honestly, season 2 kind of works as 4 different movies as opposed to like an overall series. There's time jumps that take place throughout the series, and so I do think it works. I got to do a bunch of interviews for Andor. So we talked to the 2 bad guys for the Empire, Dedra and Cyril, and then we talked to Stellan Skarsgård and Genevieve O'Reilly, who are Luthen and Mon Mothma as well. And so when I watched it, kind of like I did a binge all at once. Yeah. And I felt like the lows were a little lower than season 1. Like it moves a little slow at times. The highs among the best Star Wars ever. And so like these last I've seen the ratings released specifically are top tier. But I honestly think you're missing some context, but for the most part, you can kind of jump into season 2.
Good. I saw some of the ratings on IMDb, and some of the episodes are like literal 9.9 ratings, which just doesn't happen. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm excited about this as well. Bime4 in the house. We had someone in the chat. Let me scroll up. Devin says, Eric Bime4 goat emoji. It's true. What's up, man? How are you?
I don't know if that's true. You mentioned the NBA playoffs, and boy, oh boy, this second round is kicking me in the junk from a betting perspective. I did think the Celtics were going to bounce, though I will say I didn't bet the Celtics to win the game, but I bet their team total over, thinking, Roth, nobody can miss 45 3-pointers in back-to-back games, right? We'll score some points here against this New York Knicks team. And they didn't need to miss 45 3-pointers. They just completely lost their minds in the fourth quarter on offense. Fun stat about the Celtics. I don't have any Andor comments.
Yeah, you're fine. I want Celtics news.
Just so you're clear. Although I think I am going to watch it, by the way, because I've also seen some of the reviews and everything. And I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but it actually looks good. But 2 games, reigning NBA champions against the New York Knicks, who they swept in the regular season, right? Not like, and it wasn't really close in the regular season. Guess how many baskets they've scored in the fourth quarter combined in the 2 games, right? So free throws don't count. How many times have they put the ball in the basket?
I couldn't even come up with a decent guess, but if you tell me under 10, I'll lose my mind, but that can't be possible. It's just crazy. It's
9 baskets in 24 fourth quarter minutes of the second round of the NBA playoffs for the Celtics. So we're starting off hot. We got a great Andor review and some Celtics tilt. We need to have a better fourth quarter performance of this show, I think, than the Boston Celtics have. We can take it home for the.
I think we can do that. Yeah, I think we can do that. We will not completely let the wheels fall off as we close things out here. We do. We're up. We've got a 20-point lead on the competition right now. We just got to close it here. Some good news for you weather-wise. I don't think there's anything we have to worry about. There's a low chance of just the most random pop-up storm in Atlanta. Similarly, but even less so in Tampa and Colorado. I don't think any of them are a concern. Atlanta has the best chance of a delay, and I'd say it's probably 10% or less. So whatever you were going to do it anyways, is my general thought on that. And that's it. That's the whole weather spiel today, which is glorious. I feel like I earned a nice quiet weather day. So let's get to it. Let's talk about some of the pitchers. TJ, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, we got 4 games today, so small little baby slate for the evening. And since we got 45 minutes, only 4 games, I'll shout out quick. Every 50 likes, we'll drop some Spidey bombs. So make sure you're mashing the like button. We got home run picks. Every time you drop 50 likes on there, we got a new Spidey bomb for you. And also just want a quick shout out because we started the show talking about television. I genuinely think 2025 might be the best year of television ever of all time. For sure, since like the 2008, 2009 range where you had like Game of Thrones plus 10 other great shows going on at once. 2025, I think because of pandemics delaying stuff, then the strike delaying stuff, and now everything all finally coming out, I think it genuinely might be one of the best years of television in all of television history.
Well, that's good. I haven't been able to find a single good thing to watch all year, so I need to tap in. And then
let me
see
give
how
you a
it goes.
list. Give you a list of like 10. I'm not really an award season guy, but this is the first year I've ever been excited for the Emmys because I'm just like genuinely excited to find out what people eventually crown the best because there's just a lot. But
is this the first Spidey bomb? Because this is a hot take. This is a hot take.
First Spidey bomb is great TV.
First Spidey bomb is this is the best year of TV in the history of TV. That's spicy.
Yeah.
We do have. Speaking of, we're likes already. I actually got to get my Spidey bombs up in front of me. I thought I'd have more time.
You're gonna do it.
Too worried about the Emmys.
Yeah, exactly. Too worried about the Emmys for the Spidey bombs. So I guess we'll go with one that I know that I for sure remember I had down. Let me double check his odds on Scores and Odds quick. Spidey bomb number 1. We got Freddie Freeman plus 430 to hit a home run over on FanDuel today. So Spidey bomb number 1 plus 430. Freddie Freeman. Let's talk about
a good way to start the show. Okay, yeah, let's get into pitchers. And then you mentioned something. I need to go get a prop. I'll be right back as I go get my prop. But TJ, walk me through pitchers real fast.
All right, will do. Spencer Schwellenbach is kind of like the guy today just because he's so damn cheap. Facing the Reds outside of the Great American Small Park. He hasn't been great recently, as we can see as we pull up the what's it called? The game log, the box score here. It hasn't been great, but he's also had a lot of really, really tough matchups. The Dodgers, the Diamondbacks. St. Louis is fine, but he also pitched fine against them. Toronto, they've been disappointing, but they don't ever strike out. Philadelphia, a ton of power. Cincinnati has some dangerous bats in their lineup as well, but on the road is when I like picking them up to play them a lot more. And so Schwellenbach's definitely the top guy. He's going to be mega chalky. He's going to be over 50% owned today on DraftKings. I'm only going with 5 guys in my pool, and like the obvious ones are you got Schwellenbach in tier 1, then you have Bassett, Luzardo, and Yamamoto. I have Bassett as my second favorite. It'd be if I were running a cash game today, it'd be Schwellenbach and Bassett, just because they don't really have any left-handed bats on the Angels that I'm afraid of, and Bassett is essentially dominant to right-handed bats and average to left-handed bats. So I'm gonna roll with Bassett as my main SP2, but it's Luzardo, Bassett, Yamamoto tier 2. Schwellenbach because of his price, I would say alone in tier 1. But the ownership will match it for sure. The only other guy in my pool, just because he is super cheap, is Jose Soriano. We talked about the matchup against Toronto. It's not great in terms of strikeouts. The Blue Jays don't really ever strike out, but they don't hit for much power, especially this year either. And Soriano's a really great ground ball guy. So there's a chance of like all these pitchers put up 15 to 20 today. Soriano could do that too, just racking up a bunch of ground balls in 6 innings and getting there at 6K.
Okay, very good. Eric, I want your thoughts on pitchers. What are you doing, both DK and FanDuel?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a different take. And the chat, a good portion of the chat was agreeing with me, not about Swamp People, but about the Reds. I'm fading Schwellenbach tonight. I'm very excited for his future. I think he is a very talented young pitcher. I'm not like some big Red stan or anything, but I don't really think pricing matters that much on this slate. Like we can kind of play shout out Jordan Cooper, our friend Blender, play whoever you want. I think you can just kind of do whatever you want. And this is like genuinely a 4-game slate with like no bad pitchers. Like there isn't really a bad pitcher on this slate. So I can just I can play Yamamoto, who is the best pitcher on this slate. This slate, I can play Bassett, who is also going to be chalky against the freaking Angels with Trout and no good lefties, like TJ said, or punt it off. Right, if we really want to save, like I don't fear the Blue Jays, even though they don't strike out. Ryan Pepio, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, we would be like playing this dude as chalk at more expensive and better matchups, but I think he's a talented pitcher. It hasn't been going well, but it hasn't been going that well for Schwellenbach either. So on the 4-game slate, I'm trying to find an angle, right, to win this thing. There's not really any like super appealing offenses outside of the Dodgers. So how do I win this thing? I'm going to fade the pitcher who's going to be really popular. So I prefer Bassett. I prefer Yamamoto. And I am cool with punting it off right down to the only pitcher I think you like truly can't play is Brandon Pfaadt against the Dodgers. Like, no, thank you. I don't think we need to get that funky, but everybody else is on the board. And so I'm going to X off the top guy off the list and probably play a little bit of Reds and, focus on Bassett will be my highest owned guy.
Sure. Okay. Got to take a stand. And that is your stand. I like it. Well, let's talk about some of the bats and some of the stacks. I assume you're going against Schwellenbach a little bit. Schwellenberger, as I prefer to call him.
Schwellenberger. Yes. Yeah. I do like the Reds. And I think did we do the show yesterday? I can't remember. The days are all blending together. Yeah. I genuinely never know what day it is unless it's like, Saturday or Sunday.
Understandable.
But Tyler Stevenson came up and somebody mentioned that how hard he's hitting the ball, of which he is. So I do think it's notable. He's the most expensive. This is Carson Kelly all over again. Okay. Like Tyler Stevenson should not be the most expensive catcher on even 4-game slates. He's not that good of a hitter. But if you just want to say, I'm playing a guy who is kind of hitting the ball hard against the chalk pitcher and, price be damned and whatever, he's going to be super low owned. I actually think it's like notable. Sean Murphy is my favorite, like pure raw tournament play. Like he's actually a good hitter. He's quite good against left-handed pitching. Nick Lodolo has not been great this year. Like we're talking about some of these other guys maybe not being so great this year. Lodolo hasn't been like getting roughed up, but like he was a huge strikeout pitcher, like mega strikeout pitcher, and he looks like Miles Michaelis or something. Like he can't get strikeouts. It's very, very bizarre. So I'm pretty concerned about him. And Sean Murphy is just a really good hitting catcher and like 6% owned on DraftKings. Obviously, Will Smith makes a ton of sense. I don't love the Phillies against Pepio given the ownership, but JT Realmuto is of course a good option. But I'm kind of sticking to some more expensive catchers on this slate, and Murphy and Will Smith are really my primary targets.
Okay, good stuff. TJ, I want to hear your stack thoughts. Which way are you going? You're not going Reds.
I'll still have some red stacks. Like I'm MMEing tonight, and I haven't X'd out a team out of my player pool. And so, in terms of pitchers, to be clear, I think like Schwellenbach is still the clear cash game option today. But if you want to pay him for tournaments, no problem with that whatsoever. He's going to be 60% owned. And so he's actually my second highest owned pitcher behind Bassett. I'm not fading him because I'm running 150 lineups, but I'll just be even. I'm not really going to, I'll just be about even on him. And then well overweight on Bassett, Luzardo, Soriano. Actually coming in a little underweight on Yamamoto just because of the Diamondbacks matchup. But in terms of stacks, Dodgers are the tier 1 today. Like they are the top stack. They will probably be the highest owned stack as well. Shohei Ohtani is projecting for 35% ownership, which is one of the highest we will see this season on a main slate for a bat. And I'm over the field. I have 43% Shohei Ohtani today. Just going to be absolutely loading up on him. You're going to kind of have the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Braves will kind of be, I think, the closest thing to chalk. But it's fairly spread out for a 4-game slate. I think the Phillies are really the only one that's kind of looking maybe over-owned of the group. Everybody else is looking pretty similar. I would probably still have the Phillies at 2, but I like them more as a mini stack than a full stack. Like I just want to play as much Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper as possible. And then outside of that, I feel like I don't really need to get a ton of the Phillies. And so for me, it'll go number 1, the Dodgers, number 2, Philly, Atlanta, kind of tied. And then Tampa Bay, Atlanta, honestly, everybody else, I'm getting about 8 to 10% of just because I'm mixing up my lineups here It's a 4-game slate. You can play any of this group. Cincinnati in a vacuum is my least favorite, but if you consider Schwellenbach's ownership, that bumps them right up. So I kind of feel like the Dodgers are the top stack. You got Braves and Phillies at 2, but all of the teams are in tier 3, and the gap between tier 3 and tier 2 is tiny. It's very, very tiny today in my eyes. From a catcher perspective, Will Smith will be my highest.
I was wondering if you were going to mention a catcher. You sounded.
I had to get there. I had to get stacks out first.
Sounded like me the other day when I just passed the torch back to Cheese. It was wonderful.
Will Smith is my number 1, but I got Danny Jansen right behind him. I really like some 3K Danny Jansen batting 5th today. Even though I'm not very high on Tampa's lineup as a whole, I'll play some Danny Jansen, former Blue Jay. He's got a lot of love in my heart for Danny, and he's in a good spot here too. It's not a great matchup, but he's got the platoon advantage and he's cheap. Sean Murphy is my 3rd highest. I love the Sean Murphy call from Eric today. I think he's a great play. And then getting some Real Muto, getting some Kirk, getting some Ohapi. But again, it's because it's 4-game slate. There's nobody I'm not going to play. Didn't X anybody out, but just have a lot more of Smith, Murphy, Jansen than the other group.
Yeah.
Can Tim pull up Danny Jansen's game log again? I didn't notice this. Look at that. There's never zeros. But there's
also never 10s.
Last zero was April 13th.
We're hunting for that one right there, baby. April 11th is the one. Everything else is just 2, 3, 2, 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Okay,
crazy. That's crazy.
So he gets on base. Hey, real quick, TJ, I went and got a prop, and then we got sidetracked, and then the whole purpose of it, but I went and got my prop, and I want to use it. You said it was award season. What awards were you looking forward to?
It's not yet. I'm just excited for the Emmys.
The Emmy. And what does that look like, the Emmys?
Are you about to pull up an Emmy?
Thank
Why
you.
don't we Emmy award winner Kevin Roth?
Yeah, I've got 3 of them. No big deal. They are the centerpieces of my home.
Did you ever get to go to the ceremonies, hang out with all the stars?
So there's like a local Emmys that is not like a big deal Emmys, and that's what local weather people win. So I have not super cool Emmys, but the trophy's
still an Emmy winner.
Cool. Yeah,
are you sure that's not a Dundee?
Yeah, no,
I think it's a Dundee.
I got a Dundee somewhere.
Razzie?
No, it's a real. I promise.
Roth has got an Emmy. I got a Dundee.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just had to flex that because how often
I got a last place fantasy football trophy somewhere around here.
I can't. You got me. All right. Take me to your thoughts of catcher, Eric.
Did catcher, so we'll do some first base.
Thank you.
Shohei Ohtani is honestly part of the reason for finding a way. Look at the also hilarious that it's red for his 26 point. I'm assuming it's pulling in the pitcher, but you want to see the difference in game logs.
Crazy. That is blowing my mind to see all of those 20s and he was in the red for those. That's nuts.
This is why why am I fading Schwellenbach? Why am I playing some reds? Whatever. It's like Ohtani is currently, we have him projected at 43%. And I focus primarily on single entry and smaller field tournaments and stuff. He's probably going to be higher. And but I just on a 4-gamer with no good bats, really, I can't find a reason other than fade and pray to fade Ohtani, and so I got to do something right on my teams to find a way to play this 50% owned hitter, which is just crazy. But he's that good. The floor, right? We showed Danny Jansen has a floor of 2. Shohei Ohtani's floor is double-digit points in all these games, and I just want to take those points and run with it. Of course, you don't have to play him at first base, but first base is significantly weaker than the outfield is. So I am playing him probably at first base. Freddie Freeman, the first Spidey bomb, also great if you want to play, right? You want to Dodger stack. That's great. Don't love, my Reds at first base, but I do actually love Matt Olson on the Braves at first base. The Braves are kind of my favorite stack, non-Dodger stack. Olsen is still awesome. It's so funny how we pulled this up and you're like, oh, that looks terrible because you just saw Ohtani having 25
right.
But Olsen, the really crazy thing about Olsen is nobody ever plays him versus lefties, and I get it, but like he's crushing left-handed pitching. His numbers are actually, like, especially StatCast data is better versus left-handed pitching than it is versus right-handed pitching this year. Small sample, all that typical stuff. But like, this is not a run and hide when he's facing a lefty type bat, and the ownership is running and hiding from Matt Olson, even though they like the Braves. So if I play Ohtani in the outfield, I like Olson as well as Freeman.
Okay, good stuff. TJ, your thoughts at first.
Freddie Freeman, Spidey Bomb number one of my favorites today. Shohei is going to be my highest owned, but you can play him in the outfield as well. And Freeman I'm going to be getting to much over the field to him. Are we at 100 likes? I see people asking about Spidey Bomb number 2 already. So let's see if we have hit 100 likes. And we are not yet there, but we are very close. So keep hitting the like button. We got one more Spidey Bomb at 100 and one more at 150. So keep giving it a little smash for us. And then, I got Ohtani 1, Freeman 2, Harper 3. I'm getting a Vlad 4. It's not a great matchup with Vlad being a bit of a ground ball hitter going up against a ground ball pitcher. But he has been much better hitting the ball in the air this year, even though the home runs haven't really come. Started the year super slow, but has been hitting the ball a lot better the last couple weeks. And he's too cheap. Vlad's just too cheap. We know we're going to get a big turnaround power hitting streak from him at some point. We do every year. He goes a stretch only hitting 1 or 2 home runs in a couple months, and then he'll hit 20 in a couple months. And so might as well try and get on that train a little bit early. Yandy Diaz is a nice cheap option, but honestly, I think Matt Olson is my favorite call in terms of like low owned plays. And so that was a great call from Bime4 there with not much to add because there's a bunch of fine plays like Freeman and Harper I like for their ownership quite a bit. But Olson at sub 10%, that's best case scenario.
Yeah. TJ, we're at 106 likes. Hey, it's me, Kevin would like to point out, and that means it's time for Spidey Bomb number 2.
Is that you in the chat? Hey, it's me, Kevin.
It's not. It's a different hey, it's me, Kevin. It's kind of odd.
All right, we were just talking about him, so let's go. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for Spidey Bomb number 2. Plus 675 is the best you can find him. I believe that's BetMGM, but plus 600 on FanDuel. So as long as you can get it 6 or over, I love that for Vladdy today. So Vladdy Guerrero Jr. is Spidey Bomb number 2. We got Freddie Freeman. We got Vlad.
Okay, good stuff. Let's see. TJ, I think it's time for your thoughts at second base.
All right. I also just dropped a list of top TV shows of 2025 so far in the YouTube chat for those interested. We got Andor, The Last of Us, The Pit, Paradise, Severance, The Studio, The Rehearsal, Daredevil Born Again, Adolescence, White Lotus, Abbott Elementary, and The Bear. Still
taking a picture. Taking a picture of that
2025.
list. They got me with White Lotus because on Amazon, it was like, do you want to watch White Lotus? And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I've heard good things. And I watched it, and we watched the first episode, and my wife were like, yeah, all right, this seems pretty good. And then they were like, okay, cool, you got to buy the rest of the season. Rude. They tricked us, TJ. They didn't tell us ahead. They tricked us.
I'm lower on that show than most people just because I kind of feel like there's no, like, the characters are really great. The acting are incredible.
Yeah.
The plot is just so boring. It leaves me wanting more. I get disappointed at the end of every season because I'm like, that's all that happened.
Yeah, I don't care enough about it to pay $25 or whatever. I'm out.
So fair. Second base position, I think I'm going to be a little under on Ozzy Albies, who looks like he's going to be the chalk today at the position. He has historically just absolutely smashed left-handed pitching throughout his career. He's been one of the best bats in the league against left-handed pitching. We haven't seen it so much this year. Small sample size, though. I'm just going to wait to dive back onto the train when he's not going to be near 40% owned. So my favorite option is just going to be going super cheap all the way down to Haesung Kim for the Dodgers. Just going to play an absolute ton of the cheap Dodger today. Looked good in that last series against Miami. Not that really matters, but he's really cheap. Second base is a terrible position, and I'm going to play the cheap guy. Matt McClain is my second choice behind Kim. And outside of that, like, I'm going to be underweight on Stott and Albies. I'll be overweight on everybody else. I'll put it that way.
Okay, very good. Eric, your thoughts second, please.
Not much to add. Love McClain and Kim. Honestly, McClain and Kim are the only 2 guys in my pool at second base. Obviously, I mean, McClain is he hasn't been great. This year he got off he's like the inverse of Rafael Devers. he got off to a crazy hot start and then quickly just crashed and burned, and has not been super great all season. Kim is just whatever. He's like a fine hitter, and he happens to be on the Dodgers, so sure at second base. I just want to call out like Ozzy Albies is becoming a little bit of fetch here. It's like
he's becoming fetch.
Yeah, we got to stop trying to make Ozzy Albies a thing. Like he was good. He was a nice prospect, and he was good for a few years. Here's the WRC Plus 2022, 94. So 6 points below league average. All right, bounce back in 2023, right? So you're like, oh, okay, he's back. Ozzy Albies is back, 125. Last year, 95. He hit 10 home runs and stole 8 bases in 100 games. Not great, right? This year, worse. Even worse. He's got a little bit more pop so far through the first 36 games, but like the ISO's lower. He just hit a couple home runs. Like at what point do we just say he's fine? Like what the bat has.
He's just a dude.
He's
the name recognition is better than the results.
He's not a 40% owned $4,600 player like on any slate. And so I say this, right? Well, in Slack in an hour, I'm going to post
he's
LOL Albie's home run. But like, I just think he has not earned this respect that we keep giving him every slate.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. How about third base?
A little bit more. His teammate at third base has earned it a little bit more. Austin Riley. So makes a ton of sense that he's very popular there. The epitome of that, laughing behind the scenes when you talk crap about him, is at third base, however, and that's Max Muncy on the Dodgers. So part of how I'm playing this slate is of course the Schwellenbach fade. I'm playing some of the chalkier offenses in the Dodgers and the Braves, but not playing these like mega chalk, like maybe not so good players like Max Muncy and Ozzy Albies, right? Leaning like, how do you play Ohtani and Freeman and those guys? It's like, well, yeah, let's play Kim, right, as part of our stack, and maybe don't play James Outman, play whoever else on the Dodgers. And Max Muncy is just that guy too. It's like, at what point do we say, you know what, Max Muncy's just not very good anymore? And I'm not saying he can't recover, but I'm probably not going to play him. I much prefer Austin Riley. The rest of the position is not great. If I'm stacking one of these other teams, if I'm stacking the Phillies, I think you play Alec Boehm, right? If I'm stacking the Rays, I think you can play Yandy at this, or Cam Monero at this spot. But it's really kind of Riley or bust unless my kind of like stack dictates it.
Yeah, fair enough. TJ, third base.
Nailed it. I think Riley is the top option by far here. If I'm not going Riley, I do want to go with one of the Rays next. They're going to be my two favorites. Yandy Diaz and Caminero are going to be my two top options to go to. I will still take some shots on Muncy just because bat has been so bad against left-handers this year. And although Muncy hasn't looked very good either, we do know he's got a history of a ton of power. He's got a 57.8 hard hit rate to right-handed pitching so far this year. That's second best on the team behind Ohtani. I think it's going to come at some point. And so I'm gonna get to some Muncy tonight. But if it's not Riley, Muncy, or the two Rays, it's just only in stack for me outside of Eugenio Suarez. I'll basically always play Eugenio Suarez, even though he hasn't really done anything since that 4 home run game.
Look at that. That's freaking 58 fantasy points. Awesome. Okay, very good. How about shortstop?
Even though it's a 4-game slate, still a pretty strong position, especially up top. You have Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and Ellie De La Cruz, and all three of them are pretty strong options. I think Trey Turner is the one I'm least fond about of that group. He's coming in as the highest owned, and so I think you can get away from him there. And I just love the idea of pivoting to Ellie for large field tournaments, and then Mookie including in your Dodger stacks. Hell, even play Ellie with a Dodger stack today and leave out Mookie, or play a Philly stack with Ellie and leave out Trey Turner. I think that's a great play as well. So it's Mookie 1 in terms of ownership. It's Mookie 1 for me, Ellie 2, and then Turner 3. But I do really think that Ellie over Turner in tournaments is just a phenomenal idea. Outside of that, it's only in stack. The guy that I'm getting to the most is Nick Allen, just because I'm stacking the Braves a lot.
Fair enough. Eric, your thoughts? Sorry, what?
Outside of the big three, Nick Allen, 4th highest owned, not overall highest owned.
I got you. Okay, Eric, your thoughts are short, please.
Pretty much 10 out of 10 No, you don't have to pull up, Tim. You don't have to pull up Nick Allen's game logs. We know it's bad.
It's not great. It's not great for Nick Allen.
Just assume it's a 0s and 2s. Okay, we all get it.
Hey, look at that. He said, look, he had 11 and 12 points.
Yeah, we got to Coors Field and we got to double digits. So that was nice. But you nailed it. Ellie is my guy here. It's like, I mean, just quickly, so like TJ said, there's like a big 3/big 4, and Ellie is facing the chalk pitcher, who also has not been great against lefties, Schwellenbach. So like, I get this leverage. Ellie has one of the highest, and maybe not 58 Eugenio Suarez fantasy point ceiling, but like, the dude can hit a home run and steal 3 bases in like any game. Like it doesn't really matter who he's facing. You walk him, he's probably going to steal second. He can run into a home run, and so he's 10%. And these other guys who aren't really any better or in better matchups are 20, 25, 30%. Like, I'm just going to take that and run with it pretty much every slate. And I'm not really interested in Nick Allen in the stack, sure. But like Taylor Walls, Jose Caballero, like even I love Zach Neto, but this is not a great spot for him. So, yeah.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the outfield. Eric, you get to lead us there.
It's a good question because it perfectly timed. Butthole Jenkins. So we keep talking about all these expensive players and like, where can you save some money? Well, the outfield actually does have some places that you can save. The Dodgers have one. I'm really torn on this one because James Outman is going to be very expensive, but he's $2,200 on the Dodgers. Dean nailed it in his blurb in Lineup HQ. Like, it was a former top prospect, not just for the Dodgers, like in baseball, and produced when he came up. It wasn't just like all hype. He came up and I loved him. He was like a cheat code in DFS for a little while. Also can run, has major power, and also can steal bases. And then he just like full like Chuck Knobloch yips at the plate. Like, I don't know what happened. I'm not entirely sure. He just like stopped being able to hit a baseball. He's back in the bigs now. He's already like had one really big game. He's 2,200 on the Dodgers, and maybe he figured it out. I don't know, but like, I'm willing to find out at 2,200. So like, play Kim at second and Outman in the outfield in your Dodger stacks, and it's like, well, you spent $5,000 on 2 Dodgers, right? That's how you can afford some of these guys. So there's plenty of ways to do it here in the outfield. The only other red I'm really considering is TJ Friedel, who hits leadoff for them. Again, lefty, not like a ton of fun, but look at that. See, like 30 fantasy points. He's hot. I think that's how that works, right? But same thing, has enough power and enough speed against the chalky pitcher at a reasonable price. I think I'm gonna play Ohtani here in the outfield, especially now as we talked it through. So of course Ohtani, is an awesome play. Love the Braves, so Ozuna, right, makes a ton of sense. TJ shouted out, right, Schwarber. Like, there's a ton of good outfield options, but I am kind of looking to save for sure in one spot, if not 2 here. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to pick. So I understand if you play Ohtani at first base, but the outfield is the most difficult spot to pick and choose what to do with. So I would value these spots, right? If you need to punt second base or even third or catcher or whatever, I would value these outfield spots.
Makes sense. All right, TJ, your favorites there in the outfield.
A lot of the same names. So my top option is Shohei with Kyle Schwarber coming in number 2. I bet on Schwarber to hit a home run today, just like I do every day, because my site is a little broken and they have Kyle Schwarber's 4 total bases at better odds than his home run always. So every time I log in, it's like Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run,
really?
plus 280. Kyle Schwarber to get 4+ total bases, plus 325. And so I just bet it every single time because I guess he never really hits doubles. And so for some reason, there must be something broken in their algorithm. But I go that way each time. And so I love Kyle Schwarber. Ozuna. And then if I need to save salary, Outman and Pages are my 2 favorite. Pages has just been lighting it up lately, and I love the Outman call as well. And then to get a little different, I like going to that Angels and Blue Jays game. Santander is going to be highly owned, but Santander, Dalton Varsho, I really, really like today. And then Taylor Ward and Jorge Soler. Taylor Ward and Jorge Soler should each, like, the Angels suck, especially without Trout. but Jorge Soler and James Outman and Taylor Ward should be at least $1,000 more expensive. Like 3,500 for Soler, 3,200 for Taylor Ward. He hasn't been great, but like we know this guy has power. It's a small sample size. Both of them should probably be about $1,000 more expensive. Like getting to both of them quite a bit, and then I am getting to a little bit of Friedel too, a little bit of Castellanos and Kepler. But Blue Jays and Angels are my favorite low-owned ones, and then Schwarber, Ozuna, and the Dodgers are my favorite overall.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, guys. Want to make sure that we are giving the people the best deal in the industry. It's important. We want the people to win, and we want to give them help them save some money. DFS annual option 425 bones, but we dropped the price of our Combo Pro to match the MLB annual package. So you get all the sports for the price of baseball. That's incredible. And if you do it for the 6 month instead of month by month, you're saving 35%. So you should obviously do that. You get MLB projections, NBA content, PGA data, and more. Make sure you are on board with that. Let's give the folks some home run calls, answer some questions, and bounce on out of here. Eric, give me a few home run calls. In the meantime, we need those likes so we can get a third Spidey bomb from TJ.
Ooh, home runs. Good question. I believe I put in the expert survey Sean Murphy, which is also low owned catcher bomb is always fun. I'll stick with Ellie, because I think I also put home run and a steal for Ellie. So there's double. Okay. So a home run and a steal for Ellie De La Cruz. And James Outman, he's back. 2,200. Yep.
Love that. All right, TJ, yeah, you got another name for me?
We got Freddie Freeman. We got Vlad. The last one I will throw up there is Austin Riley. You can find him for plus 330. That is Spidey Bomb number 3. We're 18 likes away, but I trust the people. Give me 18 more likes. Smash that like button. And we got Spidey Bomb number 3, Austin Riley, to go along with Freddie Freeman and Vlad Jr.
Okay, very good. Let's answer some of the questions. As always, I start in the Discord. And one of the questions was, hey, there's a big hailstorm coming my way in Charlotte. When can I expect it? Like an hour? In like an hour? And then maybe more after that? It looks like there's one kind of nearby already. On to the baseball questions.
Come for the Spidey Bomb, stay for the weather forecast.
Yeah.
Local weather forecast. Roth's in Texas and doling out Charlotte weather forecasts on a DFS show.
It's beautiful 80 degrees here in Saskatchewan right now, but when will the 40-mile-an-hour wind gust stop?
Oh, yikes. Is that really a thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was up to 80 yesterday.
Out of the south or out of the north?
It was out of the south yesterday. I don't know about what's going on today. I just know my dad was driving from Montana home yesterday, and the gusts got up to 80 on the highway on his way home. But in Saskatoon, like in the city, they're like 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts right now.
Woof. Yeah, that's wild. All right, let's see what we got here. Friedel or Lux from Josh. TJ, Friedel or Lux?
Friedel.
Eric, any Cincy?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn right.
Yeah. Eric, right back to you. Cody says Neto or Bichette? Neto or Bichette short?
Bichette.
TJ, we need a Pope narrative. Which players are Catholic? Who is a famous Catholic?
You don't need a Catholic narrative. You just got to pick Nick Castellanos because there was a major world event until you played Nick Castellanos to hit a home run.
He's isn't he from Chicago and he went to Villanova?
The Pope's from Chicago.
Yeah. He's from Chicago.
Okay. Yes.
I thought you meant Chicago. No. The Pope went to Villanova and is from Chicago, which also straight narrative street. Why are the Knicks winning? Is because they have the whole goddamn Villanova team, and the Pope is from Villanova.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. I saw so many.
Celtics are cursed.
Hammer and Chad give me a tough time saying it's negative 80 degrees in Saskatchewan. There it is. Beautiful 72.
It's hotter where you are than
outside of the wind, but like we got between 58 and 79 beautiful for the next 14 days. Just beautiful.
Man, I want to do some fishing in Saskatoon with TJ. Let's see. And by the way, I feel like any of the Latin American players are all Catholic, right? That's what they do. That's probably right.
That's so racist.
Well, it's not racist. That's a thing.
They can choose their own religion.
That's true. You're right. I'm the worst. Jorge says, Eric, Ellie or Mookie, DK Cash. I've got Schwellenberger as a pitcher, and Mookie would be my fifth Dodger.
Mookie, yeah, in cash.
Hammer says, TJ, I went bear hunting in Saskatoon once. Damn near froze to death. Does that sound accurate? Are there bears?
Bear hunting?
Not
the
in
hell?
the city. No, that is a lie.
I take back my visit.
That is a lie. I did go up to Waskasiu once, and which is Canadian National Park, about 2.5 hours north.
Yeah.
Beautiful lake, beautiful golf courses. Is my favorite golf courses that I've ever golfed are there. But when we were walking one morning with some friends, we just went for like a walk around the little town, and I did see a baby bear cub in the trees. And so went and like told the park rangers so they can like safely escort them out of the area with people, but not like in the city. You're not getting any bears, but if you go up north, there's bears.
Yeah, and these are brown bears. These are grizzlies, right? We're not talking about little friendly black bears.
When you walk down the road to the bar,
I believe
like,
all of the variations, but polar you can find.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, you know the bear info, what to do if you see a bear based on the color. TJ might know.
I don't know. No, I don't know this. I've heard that it's a thing, but I don't know.
Okay, so if it's black, fight back, because it's a black bear and they're scared. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down, because it's a grizzly bear and they're going to tear your throat out. And if you show any signs of aggression, they will doubly kill you. And if it's white, good night. You're done. It's
over.
Yeah, if it's a polar bear, you're done. You got nothing. So
I'm just going to lay down for all of them and hope they adopt me as their child.
That's one way to go.
For a while.
All right, let's see. Chris says, TJ, Pepio or Soriano on FanDuel? I got enough for one.
I would go Soriano.
Tampa or Arizona stacks, Eric? Which do you prefer? Thank you.
Tampa or Arizona? Yeah, Tampa. Also, can I sneak in one more Pope reference?
Please.
There's one active baseball player that went to Villanova. It's Gordon Graceffo for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ooh.
So he's a relief pitcher, so it doesn't count for DFS. But maybe the Cardinals keep winning, brother. 5 in a row. We're back. We're totally back. So and it coincides.
What are the chances the Cardinals have the one guy related
exactly
to the
right? I think we got to bet the Cards.
Exactly. Yeah. Gordon Graceffo has been. I literally, when I went to the gym, the local sports talk radio, which is just a hoot to listen to, by the way. Like they just live in a different world than we live in.
Yeah.
With sports analysis. But Gordon Graceffo is like the talk of the town because he's been their bullpen is terrible, and he's like helping fix the bullpen. And now we know why.
And
Villanova and the Pope.
Religious.
There you go.
I would like to bet on the Cardinals. The problem is I just don't know what they're doing inside that building for all that time. I don't know if they're stretching. I don't know if they're getting some swings in. So like they might just be coming out cold outside of the conclave.
These are different. These are different Cardinals. I don't know. Yeah. Just to be clear. Yeah. Mookie says, "Hey, is the Phillies game safe? Does anyone know where are the Phillies? Where are they playing?"
Tampa.
Yes, they should be fine. There's a low chance of a delay, but like low enough that you just do whatever you were going to do. Should be
Wind's
fine.
blowing out there too, right?
I think very gently. Derek accurately pointing out that my animal knowledge is second to none. Yes, that is a big fact. Is Clement okay in DK Cash, TJ? Clement?
No.
No. Okay.
Ernie Clement is, I believe, only third base eligible. He's only $2,200. So honestly, if I cannot get up to Riley or Caminero or Diaz, there are crazier things you can do than full out punt at the $2,200 Clement. Although I kind of feel like I would rather Barger if I'm picking one.
Yes. Okay. Ernie Clement has a 133 WOBA and 0 ISO against right-handed pitching. Ooh, find something else.
I don't know what those
I like
mean.
Barger if I'm doing the Jays punts better. But like it's kind of one of those things where no, he sucks, but I guess you can play anyone for minimum price.
Yeah. Okay. Eric, a few more questions. We're 5 minutes until lock. Riley says Bryce or Freddie on FanDuel.
Freddie.
DK single entry right back to you, Eric. Mookie, Barger, or Eloy and Outman?
I assume that's Ellie and Outman, and Ellie and Outman is the answer.
Maybe. It might be. Yeah.
Eloy is Is Eloy?
Jimenez is a dude.
I know he's a baseball player, but like he's not playing, and he's on what team is Eloy on?
He may be dead. He may be a pitcher. I have no idea. I just recognize the name of it. I don't follow baseball enough.
Yeah, there's no Eloy playing.
Okay, all right.
But,
so
I do want to bring something up. I don't know where you look to find this, but saw somebody in chat saying that Chase Field in Arizona was open tonight, and it's over 90 degrees there.
Well, if it's open, that's a bump to the bats.
Well, Dodgers. So
we're gonna play Shohei.
Yeah, I think Ohtani's still pretty good.
Yeah,
Shohei Ohtani's gonna hit one instead of 450 feet, 512 feet.
Yeah. Eloy, by the way, not on a team as of now, so that's good.
Boy, those Whites. This is why. But the White Sox are about to be back because the Pope is a White Sox fan. And they just had to deal with Robert sucks now. Eloy sucks. All these guys were terrible, but it's White Sox fan have something to be excited about.
They're clearing the bad juju out of the building. They're bringing in holier men. Outman Freeman, TJ, Outman Freeman, FanDuel Cash, or Ozuna Casti.
Outman Freeman.
Juice says TJ, it's a 3v3 DK GPP. Betts, Kirk, Barger, or Will Smith, Lukes, and Bichette.
I guess first one with Betts and Kirk.
Would you rather be attacked by a bear or a shark, Eric? A bear or a shark?
Just reading that one and thinking about it. I knew that was coming.
A bear if I'm in water, a shark if I'm on land.
Hey, well said.
That is the sharp ass answer there.
I think I could take a shark if I was on land.
I love these. These are like I'll the like meme guys will sit around all day and name random athletes or whatever. I would sit around all day and think about these stupid hypothetical questions. I think the bear would just like the shark would not kill you instantly, right? I don't think
the shark generally just bites a limb off and lets you bleed to death because
I think the shark
they bite you and then they're like, oh, that's
so much pain.
That's not tasty. And then they just leave you and you drown and bleed out.
I'm pretty sure the bear would just like literally rip you in half and kill you. Like
if it's a grizzly or a polar bear,
almost instantly.
Yeah, polar bears they will hunt you and they will eat you. And you are food to them.
Great question. Great question. Keep them coming.
Let's see. Mookie says Eric, Albies, McCain, or Stott. Yes, there is an Eli. So we said Eloy. There is an Eli. Eli White is playing.
Eli White.
Yeah. But regardless, the question here is Albies, McCain, or Stott.
I'll even rank them McCain, Stott, Albies.
Okay, very good. TJ, by the way, the chat approves of your Shark versus Bear answer. They want to know, though, Friedel versus Yandy, DK Cash.
Yandy.
Okay. Joe pointing out the bear would probably still smoke you in the water. And that,
for sure.
That
for sure.
Bears can swim, John says. Bears can
absolutely. Bear would crush you in the water. I believe bears can climb trees, bears can swim. Like you're screwed.
Yeah.
Grizzly, I think it's a grizzly can run, has a top speed faster than a racehorse. So you're screwed regardless, unless you get lucky and you get the shark on land. If you get the shark on land, you got yourself legitimate.
It's the only shot you got. Yeah.
Yeah. You just sit back and you wait. You hold those fists high for intimidation, and you just stand back and you wait.
Give it 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Let's see. Albies, McLean, or Stott. Did we just do that? I felt like
we just did that one.
Okay. Tango Hotel, which I like. He says, Outman, Wolfman, Peter Pan, doesn't matter. Wolves in 5.
It's good.
Go Wolves. You're wrong, but I love it. It's
not in 5. Steph will be back.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, we hit lock. A couple quick questions, then we'll bounce. TJ, your thoughts on Marsh?
Would be the Philadelphia player I'd want to play the least.
Oh, I missed a question in the Discord. Eric, thoughts on using both pitchers from the Braves game? I like the K upside, and I need the salary in a large field DK tournament.
It's fine. There's only 4 games. So you can play 2 pitchers from the same game for sure.
Yep. TJ, would you rather ride on a battery in water or fight a shark? Ride on a battery. This would have to be a very large battery.
I'd rather ride on a battery in water and just get some good casing for that to make sure that it doesn't melt and cover my butt with acid.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. All right. Hey, with that, we're going to clear on out of here. Let's bounce. We hit lock. So for Eric, for TJ, for our wonderful production crew. Always working hard behind the scenes, extra hard. My guy Tim doing it. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.